We're getting ready to finish this up. Before we go to the images, I did go ahead and put in the copy for the Explore and the Earth, Moon, and Sun. I styled this with the text style sheet. I gave all the subheads their style sheets, and then I started a new style sheet for all of this information, and I just called it italics. I just gave it a little bit tighter leading. Okay, so everything's in. Now you are going to have your own layout, so maybe these public shows are somewhere else. Maybe this text isn't big. I'm hoping I can keep this text big and still find room for all the images, which is what we're going to do now. So the first images you should put in are the images that are from the planetarium. Because these things, this is the Dome Theater, this is the Foucault Pendulum, and this is Science on a Sphere. It seems like there's something that you're going to want to show. Explore which opportunities you have for these images. I would set these all here at 200 ppi. So this one's 332, 214, 200. So that tells you, like this one's in 192, so I actually have to make that one a little bit smaller. Get these all to at least 200, and then you know what you're dealing with. 96, so I've got to make that one a little smaller also. Okay, so all of these are at least 200, so now I can decide how much room I want to allocate to these and how I'm going to lay it out. You can, of course, crop these so you don't have to show them this big, but they have to be sized according to their resolution. So these are as big as these can get for the most part. This can be a little bit bigger since this is 2/14, and this could be a little bit bigger. Okay, so get those in first, slot in your copy and all the images that you think need to be there for someone to understand the attraction. You can't do an entire trifold without any pictures from the inside of the planetarium. You have to work those in. You don't necessarily have to show this or this outside view, but to me, I would think that it would help a lot to see what these actually are. So you could also make them super small. You don't even have to make them this big. You can go smaller than this, but you really can't go much bigger. So if you didn't want to put a lot to these, you could make them little postage stamp, just something that kind of gives the idea. The other thing you can do with images is you can go on stock. So here are some stock images that I picked up that seem like they'd go well with this. And I kept them pretty general. Nothing with spaceships, nothing with people, nothing like that. Just planets and moons. This image I actually got from that new telescope, and they feature this on the OC Planetarium's website, so I downloaded that image. So these are all fair game. Now these are much higher resolution. So if I go to my links, I'm at 288, and I'm able to use this for the cover if I wanted to. So it goes all the way to the bleed and to the fold lines, and it has enough resolution. And that's only going to be a stock photo. Really, none of the photos from the planetarium are going to be able to do that. And I could actually run all my copy with that image right there. There's a lot of images to choose from. This one is, I still have 1800 effective PPI. This one would be, this is 212. This one would be, this is 436, so I could go quite a bit more with that. So if you want anything that's going to go large, and some of you have designs where a planet goes all the way across the layout and on the flap, just make sure that you're checking that resolution. If an image is very vertical and you use it vertically, you're going to get more PPI than if you try to take a horizontal image and make it large enough. So that's something to keep in mind. When you're done with this, I don't actually want you to hand in the file. I just want to see this real quick and be able to write on it inside Canvas and make notes and leave you feedback at where you're at so far. So I want it like this, where I can see all of the image frames, all of your guides, all of the text box, everything. I want you to just take a screenshot like this and then do one for the inside, outside the bleed line, so I can see you have that set up. And that's just with your images in, your text in, and styled. And I just want to be able to give you feedback before you go to final. So you're going to hand that in. I'm going to get feedback to you as soon as possible. And then next week, I'm going to talk to you about how to finalize this based on what I see you guys handing in. And I'll show you how to export it. And then we're going to mock it up in a scene so that you could show your client that in case it's a client that you don't meet with in person. Okay, so we're about to wrap this up.